Oh, I forgot the bill.
Yes,
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Can you hear me? Is the mic on?
I thought it was
A little bit higher up.
It's on the.
Okay,
Yes, there we are.
the mic is working. All right, good. So, my name is Chuck Shields. I'm with the board. I'm here with a few announcements to start us off this morning.
Can't hear you, Chuck.
You
No,
can't
keep
hear
it
me.
up there.
Gotta kiss the mic a little.
All right, can you hear me more? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, again, Chuck Shields with the board, here with some announcements. To help welcome Reverend Lara and kick off our new congregational year, on September 7th, that sounds more like I'm hearing something, we will be holding at her first service with us, and to help welcome her, we're going to have a celebratory start to the new program year. We'll be holding a barbecue following the service. A couple of board members, Carmen Contreras and John Eamon, are leading the organizing, but would appreciate the help of 2 to 3 congregants with the planning. If you'd like to help, speak with me after the service today, or contact Carmen Contreras. Is Carmen here today? I thought she might be, but I don't see her yet, no. And you can contact me either after service or at president at Unitarian Ottawa.ca. Next, Fall Fair's gift shop, one of the most popular areas of the Fall Fair, is looking for a co-convener. One of your name tags, particularly in October, will be reaching out to gift shop volunteers and setting up their work schedule. You'll have fun working with Joan Auden, the other co-convener, many years of experience there, on other tasks as well. If you're interested or would like more information, contact Eva at FF as in Fall Fair. It's FF Vols at FirstUnitarianOttawa.ca. And in August, this month, we have a number of Pride activities which are listed in the EUU. I'd like to highlight that on August 17th will be our Pride service, which will be followed by a t-shirt decorating and sign making party. And August 24th will be the Pride Parade, where we'll get to wear those t-shirts and carry those signs. I've heard, by the way, that Reverend Lara is planning on joining us at the parade. Also note that for the first time, FirstU will have a table on the weekend of August 23rd, 24th at the Pride Festival on Bank Street. And this afternoon, at noon after the service, we're going to be having an orientation session for those who will be helping at the table. That will be held in the lounge. So if you are coming by the Pride Parade, stop by the table and say hi. And finally, the Ajashki program is looking for volunteers to help prepare lunches on a weekly basis, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 1, and to help shop for food. Helping with either or both of these needs would be appreciated. Contact the Jashki Center, that's AJASSHKI Center, at gmail.com to get involved. Thank you all very much. Over to, you want to hold this or you want it in the stand?
Good morning, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Welcome, everyone, to the First Unitarian Congregation of Ottawa. Whether you're here in Fellowship Hall this morning or watching from wherever you may be, you are welcome. My name is Alexis. I am your worship associate this morning. Delighted to be here with our special guest and fellow UU Kris, who will be offering a reflection on rest as part of our summer service series where we've been together around the broad theme of looking back and looking forward. As we begin together our time this Sunday, let us take a moment to ground ourselves in this place by acknowledging that our FirstU campus is located on traditional, unsurrendered, and unceded Algonquin and Anishinaabe territory, and that the work of reconciliation is a responsibility of our congregation and of all Canadians. Our goal is to educate ourselves and all those that have the willingness to understand, to be of service to those who are at risk, and to advocate for justice. Now, let us join our voices together in song. Please rise in body or in spirit as Kris will be leading us in meditation on breathing. It's usually number 1009 in the Teal hymnal, but today we'll be following the lyrics on the screen.
All right, hi folks. Hello. So most of you already know this. We're going to start out with the drone, which is the lowest line in the system. Breathe in, breathe out. And then we will add the melody, which is the top line, and then we will add the descant, which is the middle line. So feel free to grab whatever part best suits you. I'm glad we've got some good choir members in the audience to sing along. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Descant. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe in, I'll breathe out. One more time. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Thank you. Thanks, Alex, for accompanying us. Music Gen is back next week, so we are subbing in for her.
Thank you for hosting that, Kris. So we light our chalice this morning with an excerpt of the poem The Anatomy of Peace by John Rodell. So lately, I've been spending a lot of time with my gut, who serves as my unofficial therapist. My gut asked me if I was having a hard time between my heart and my head. I nodded. My heart is always sad about something that happened yesterday, while my head is always worried about something that may happen tomorrow, I lamented. My gut smiled and said, in that case, you should go stay with your lungs for a while. Your lungs are the perfect place for you. There's no yesterday in your lungs. There's no tomorrow either. There's only now. There's only inhale, there's only exhale, there's only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath you can rest while your heart and head work their relationship out. Our chalice is lit. Come, let us worship together as we sing our chalice song. Chalice, chalice, burning bright, help remind us with your light of how we like to live each day, with love and truth helping lead the way. Today's special object from the treasure chest is a beautiful singing bowl. Kris, would you like to come up and tell us something about this singing bowl?
Yeah, so this is my singing bowl that I got in Nepal in 2001, and we will be using it later as part of our experiential interactive reflection today.
So this week we welcome our speaker, Kris Cormier, who many of you already know since they're very involved here at FirstU since 2017. You may or may not already know that Kris is the music director of Choral in Harmony Choir, which is a part of Ottawa's 2S LGBTQ plus community since 1991. She's also a clinical social worker with her own private psychotherapy practice. And a key piece of their therapy approach is the use of mindfulness. Kris first presented this reflection a couple years ago at our sibling congregation, the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Ottawa. In it, they'll connect the metaphor of musical rest symbols to the importance of rest for life balance, social harmony, and mental health. You are all invited to participate as a group in experimental exercises involving music, singing, and mindfulness.
Thanks so much, Alexis, for the intro, and I'm also going to credit Sarah Baxter from the UUFO, who came up with the initial idea for a metaphor using the rest symbol as a metaphor for rest in mental health. Obviously, I love rest symbols. Many of you will recognize this one on the right, the quarter note rest, which is a rest for one beat. But you may not be as familiar with this rest symbol, which is a fermata. And that means you can hold the note or the rest for an endless period of time, not literally endless, but the choir director gets to decide how long you hold the note or the rest for, which obviously I love. It has a lot of potential with kind of the audience waiting attentively, the choir carefully observing, the performance hall filling with extended sound or extended silence of unknown duration. And I promise I use fermatas responsibly and don't leave anything too long. But I do love the drama, and my choir does love to tease me about my use of fermatas and adding them very liberally throughout our music. So in our journey today, we are going to see what the musical rest can teach us about the pink slide, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there we go. In our journey today, we'll see what it can teach us about life balance, social harmony, the breath, mental health, and we'll connect all these concepts through mindfulness. And we have our singing bowl, which we'll be using in our experiential exercise, so be ready. First, we're going to talk about balance through music and pause, singing and breath, living and dying day and night. We understand the need for balance in our lives. This idea of dichotomies and opposites is pulled into both mental health and music in all sorts of ways. In life, there are many poems and stories that illustrate the concept that we must have both joys and sorrows to live a full experience. In music, for example, we see balance in dynamics. We don't have one steady volume all the time. That would be very boring. We start maybe with a soft pianissimo, which then crescendos into a forte. And in mental health, we see this in many approaches and models. For example, in DBT, dialectical behavior therapy, clients are encouraged to walk the middle path. So, for example, in interpersonal relationships, they learn to balance their own needs with the needs of others so that they're maintaining healthy boundaries and not overdoing it for other people, but also being considerate of other people. If you could choose a life of average emotions, no highs, no lows, just completely flat all the time, or a life that has low points, sadness, but also moments of extreme joy, laughing so hard it hurts, which would you choose? Option 2, option 1, 2, yeah, a lot of 2s. I tricked everyone into giving me a peace sign now. So yeah, obviously, we choose kind of the happiness, even though it comes with sadness too. We're going to talk about breath. In our opening poem, we found the lungs to be the perfect place to rest between our heads and our hearts. I love that poem. That Alexis only read us a little portion of it, so if you'd like the whole poem, we can send the link to the whole poem. So in our lungs, we can just worry about the present moment instead of worrying about the future or being sad or caught up in the past. We can just exist in inhale, exhale. The importance of rest for taking a breath in music is pretty obvious. We can't just keep singing endlessly. We'd probably pass out. This connects to mental health as well. We can't just keep working endlessly. So if we tried to do that without rest, what would happen? Any guesses? Yeah, burnout, absolutely.
Start making mistakes.
Making mistakes, yeah, that's a great, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Personally, I've had on and off suicide ideation.
Yeah, it could lead to some very dark thoughts. Yeah, absolutely. So it's very important to take a rest. Yeah, thanks for that, Quill. So we might have, burnt out worker, or you might have a song in which there's a lot of mistakes. And that leads us to what we can do instead, which is stagger breathing. Many of you are already familiar with this concept. I see some choir members here that are like, yep, I know what that is. So in singing, for those of you that don't know what that is, whenever we have an extended note that the whole section needs to maintain for many, 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 many bars, that is possible to do with stagger breathing. So what happens is you can either plan ahead of time with your section mates and kind of say, I'm going to breathe after 2 bars, you're going to breathe after 3, you're going to do 4, or you can just be attuned to your choir members around you and plan to sneak a little breath after they have already snuck their little breath. So you can kind of decide to balance the whole sound by planning when you're going to breathe at different times than other singers. So I invite you to consider, if we can apply this stagger breathing technique to work, what might that change? If everyone carries the load and it's not too heavy for any one person, would we experience less burnout? What if we also apply this concept to social justice work? Sometimes we can start to feel really hopeless if we're just one person fighting a cause. But if we work together with others towards change, what if we can make sure everyone has a chance to breathe? This brings us to the concept of social harmony and the story of the dreaded S's in harmony. Exactly, yeah. So what happens in choirs often is if you don't have a sharp cutoff where everyone is coming off properly together, you get, if there's an S at the end of your sentence, you get Exactly, yes. So let's try it together. We're gonna be learning a new song today that hopefully will come back at least once over the month of August. It's called Another World is Possible, and take a look at your handouts. We're just gonna learn a little snippet of it just to demonstrate the dreaded S's, but we'll come back to it later in the service. So we're gonna try it two ways. We're first gonna try it without coordinating our rests and our cutoffs, and then we will try it with coordinating our cutoffs. Can't play with two hands without. Okay, this should work. Okay. So we're only gonna worry about the first line. We're not gonna worry about the other parts, the today part. Just, it doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. So, first we're gonna try it. Can you still hear me okay? Yeah, okay. So let's try it a couple times with not worrying about your cutoffs, just cut off whenever you feel like it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It doesn't have to be like this. 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 Yeah, okay, good. Now let's try it together, trying to work together to pay attention to the rest and the cutoff. And I will try to find the right notes here. Ready? So paying attention, cutting off together. You can watch me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It doesn't have to be like this. 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 Yeah, I think that was better. Yeah. And now you're ready. You know the song for when we sing it. Okay. So let's go to mental health, connecting to rest. Rest is unquestionably crucial for our well-being. Getting enough rest is good for our mood, our ability to concentrate, and our physical health. If we don't get enough rest, we feel sluggish and irritable, and it can start to impact our relationships as well. I think most people know how important it is to get rest, so why aren't we getting enough? People often resist rest. I think today we tend to celebrate busyness and sometimes try to one-up each other with how absolutely swamped we are. I'm pleased to see that things are shifting towards honoring rest more and more. Folks are better able to set boundaries with their employers or family members who place demands on their time. So let's say you get home, you put your feet up, you tell yourself, I'm ready for some downtime, and you pull out your phone and you start doom scrolling. Is that rest? No. That's not rest. That's a lot of mental stress, right? So let's talk about what rest is not. Rest is different than sleep, and both are very important. I find this helpful to think about when I'm having trouble sleeping. Even if I can't get sleep for a certain number of hours, the time that I spend resting, reading a book, etc., is still nourishing in a different way. Obviously, it would be ideal to get both sleep and rest. Let's talk a little tiny bit about the nervous system. So for some of you, this may be familiar. We have a sympathetic nervous system that's activated when we perceive a threat. And because of evolution, we don't know the difference between a scary bear running around the corner and an email that's very stressful. Our nervous system has evolved to react either way to both threats. So we get activated, that's fight, flight, freeze mode. Our heart rate increases, our muscles contract, and our body systems change, Like for example, our digestion might slow down. Then we have the parasympathetic nervous system to counter that, bring us back to homeostasis. Things calm down, our heart rate slows. And I don't have time today, but I would encourage folks to look up the concept of the window of tolerance, which is all about staying in your zone where you can cope with all the emotions that are coming up and bringing yourself back down when you go too active into sympathetic nervous system, or if you go the opposite direction and too far where you're feeling like numb, flat, no emotions. It's a great concept and a way to kind of figure out what skills do I need in this moment to either regulate down or regulate up. Let's talk about boredom. Being bored is actually good. I know, hot take, right? It does have a negative connotation though in a lot of cultures, including the global north. We have many kids these days that are overscheduled, overstimulated. I'm a parent, my kids are now in their 20s, but I remember very well what it was like when they had, soccer practice and Girl Guides and all these activities to go to. But unstructured time is actually really good for us and allows things to spontaneously happen. Kids can use their imagination, make up a story, play with their friends in a very imaginative, creative way, or spontaneously not happen, just to be bored and get ideas and maybe spend some time with your thoughts, just being in the moment. Which brings us to our final section, mindfulness. A key concept in mental health. But it's probably something you've heard frequently, but there's also a lot of misconceptions out there about mindfulness. Some people confuse mindfulness with meditation. I used to. And although you can mindfully meditate, you don't need to meditate to be mindful. You don't need to clear your mind. A lot of us have this image of, a yogi sitting on a cushion, kind of, but you can be mindful doing anything. You can be mindful washing the dishes. You can be mindful eating your supper. It's really just taking time to be in the present moment. And in fact, bringing your attention back from when your thoughts wander away, because it's impossible to clear your mind, that's the practice. That's a big part of what mindfulness is. So next, I'm going to invite you to participate in 3 mindfulness exercises if you would like to. If you find your thoughts wandering, just notice them non-judgmentally, bring them back to the exercise. We'll have 3 activities. The first one is going to be just silent mindfulness for a time. So I invite you to acknowledge your thoughts and feelings, just notice whatever is present, non-judgmentally, not trying to get too tangled up in what's there, not getting stuck on them, and also not shoving them away, even if they're a little bit uncomfortable. I promise we won't be there too long, just maybe 30 seconds or so. And then I'm going to bring in my Nepalese singing bowl to have a sound that you can focus on for your meditation. So continue to notice thoughts and feelings, and also feel free to focus on the sound of the singing bowl. And then third, this is going to be participatory. I'm going to start a drone note, kind of like we had in meditation on breathing song. And I will just pick a note to hum. Feel free to match my note or to add harmonies or to add whatever notes you would like. You can make a hum sound, or you can make a sound, or you can make a ah sound, whatever you like. And I'm very, very curious and excited to find out what we will hear in the room with everyone making a different noise for that period of time. So those are going to be the 3 exercises. Ready?
Sure.
Okay, so mindfulness, silent, singing bowl, and then we'll make some humming and other sounds. even better than I expected. So lovely. Thank you so much, folks. I'm getting teary. That was beautiful. I'm so glad we'll have a recording of this. So I'll wrap things up here so we can continue to kind of have this meditative mood for the rest of the service. Just feel free to continue to notice and acknowledge thoughts and feelings. Notice, if something has maybe shifted in you and how you feel. I love doing this type of thing in community, where we can kind of notice the interactions and the interconnectedness between everyone. It took everyone in this room to make such a beautiful collaborative tapestry of sounds, and I'm very honored and privileged to have been part of that today. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, are we doing it now? Okay, hold on a second. I thought we were doing the offering. Hi, me again.
Welcome back.
Hi. I thought we were doing the offering first, but it looks like we're gonna get to sing. Yay!
Yay.
So, hopefully you remember from like 10 minutes ago the song that we learned. So it's the same part at the bottom. It's line 1. It doesn't have to be like this. It's gonna start with, "We are unstoppable. Another world is possible." So if I can invite a bunch of folks who just want an easy, like no challenge part to be part 1, maybe show of hands, see if we have enough. Join in, a couple more people, maybe 4, 5, 6 more people. Couple more people? Okay, perfect. So you are part 1. So you're gonna start with, "We are unstoppable." Everyone else, "Another world is," let's try it.
We are unstoppable. Another world is possible.
Great, okay. And then part 1 comes in with, "It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this." And that repeats. And later we're gonna have it in español. "Luchamos por la libertad." We're gonna have a video to accompany us. That's why I'm setting you up, making sure you're prepared. And then part 2 and 3 can either choose the melody or the harmony. So part 2 or part 3, the melody. "Today, another world is possible." And the harmony. "Today, another world is possible." Let's try. "Today, another world is possible." Yeah, good. And you've got kind of when you come in. So for part 2 and 3, if you have a blank box, that means you are on a A. You were listening. Great. Okay. Let's give it a try, and we'll fade out at the end at about 3 minutes or so. Let's give it a try. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We
are unstoppable. Another world
One more
is
time.
possible. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable. Another world is
One
possible.
more.
We are unstoppable. Another world
Ready?
is possible.
Today, sorry. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. Today, another world is possible. Today, another world is possible.
Luchamos por la libertad. Luchamos por la libertad.
Aquí.
Aquí. Luchamos por la libertad. 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 Aquí. Luchamos por la libertad.
Last time.
Luchamos por la libertad.
Overseas.
They didn't know that we were seeds. They didn't know that we were seeds.
Again.
They didn't know that we were seeds. They didn't know that we were seeds.
We're here.
We're here. Oh, they tried to bury us. We're here. Oh, they tried to bury us. We're here. Oh, they tried to bury us. Oh, they tried to bury us. We're here. Oh, they tried to bury us. We're here. Oh, they tried to bury us. We're here.
Your fade now, Julia. Rest, and rest, and rest, and rest. Okay, well done, folks. Now you're ready. We will come back to this later this month.
Thank you for leading all of us in that, Kris. And now we ask the ushers to start passing out the baskets at this time. This congregation has a long history of care, vitality, and bringing people together to move the art of justice forward. We've been able to live into our hopes and dreams because of the generosity of those within and beyond this community. Whether you're here in Fellowship Hall this morning or watching anywhere else, you are part of this community. We rely on one another to keep this congregation vital and resilient. If you have any questions about how to give, please go to our website or contact our finance manager to find out how to make a donation or keep up with your pledge. Those in Fellowship Hall can use the QR code on the back of the printed order of service to also make an online donation. Our gifts are freely given and gratefully received. We dedicate these gifts to the work of this community of faith, serving human wholeness, caring for the planet, upholding religious freedom, welcoming the stranger, loving one another. Before we begin to close this time of worship and reflection, a reminder that food and household items from the grocery support program are available for those who would like some from the room adjacent to Fellowship Hall. And since our service has taken place here this morning, we were not able to host Mia's Indian cuisine until later in September. However, in the meantime, we still encourage you to support their business as they're still being affected by local construction. If you're new here, still feel new, or simply welcome conversation today, please pick up the green mug. Doing so will help others look forward to a good conversation. Thank you. And if you see someone sporting a green mug, you may approach them, ask them about who they are, what brought them here this morning, start to another great conversation. As we prepare to extinguish the chalice, let this poem from Martha Pulsthwaite guide us forward. The poem is called Clearing. Do not try to serve the whole world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is yours alone to sing falls into your open cupped hands and you recognize and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to the world so worthy of rescue. A chalice is extinguished, but the spark in our hearts still stays light. And now please rise one more time in body or spirit as we come together one more time in song, Spirit of Light. If you happen to have the great hymnal on you, it's number 123. We'll sing it first in English and then en français. It has also just come to my attention now, I have completely forgotten to recite the opening words from this morning before the chalice. So I will try to get those as quickly and clearly as possible. So if this is your first time here and would like to learn more, you may contact us through email, welcome@firstunitarianottawa.ca. If you're here in person and would like to learn more, you may find it at the welcome table just outside the doors. We encourage you to sign up to receive the EUU, the weekly email newsletter. Sign-up information is available on the website under the EUU Weekly Newsletter tab. You can access it on the website or by using the QR code at the back of the printed program. You may check our Facebook and Instagram and website for notices and updates, with our calendar being as full as ever with a mix of online and in-person opportunities to be together. All of us are welcome this morning, of any heritage or faith, whatever our burdens, any culture or race, any gender orientation, any body, all that we are. Today we're all part of this spiritual community. May we always remember we're people of love, providing a place in this world for our spirit, a place called home. As we now return to the challenge and joy of helping the world come alive in love, let us go forward with love in our hearts, sowing seeds of justice from our hands and peace in our steps. Go in peace, my friends. Go making